Welcome in, guys. This is Three Bold Takes. Chase, Freddie, Quinn here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Before we start, guys, I always got to tell you, we're partnered with SeatGeek. Use our discount code Three Bold Takes. Chase, what are we getting a discount for? $20 off the first ticket you purchase through SeatGeek. Make sure you use that. Use our code because you love us, because you love our channel, because you love our takes, because you hate our takes. Doesn't matter. Just use it. Three Bold Takes, $20 off your first ticket. And guys, I have to get it into it. We're about a third of the way through the year so far of college football. We're getting there. We wait all off season and say, "Man, I just can't wait for college football," and then it just goes so quickly. And so now we have to jump into the Heisman watch. We're already talking about some really good players, some guys that we like, and I'm going to go ahead and get it rolling. I think this is the best year a non-quarterback can win it since Devontae Smith, in my opinion. Um, because I think you have two guys that are absolutely electric. And there's been some good quarterbacks, but there's not been one I've looked at that was like, man, yeah, he is doing everything. He's the number one pick in the draft. He's XYZ. Like, I've not seen one of those guys yet. And for me, I got Ashton Jeanty, or Genty, I think that's how you pronounce it, from Boise State, the running back. The kid is absolutely insane. They're 3-1 for a reason. They lost to Oregon. And this kid is, I think he's had one game where he's averaged under 10 yards a carry this season. And he is like, let me just make sure I have all these stats right. Um, yeah, he's already at 845 yards on the season, averaging over 10 yards a carry with 13 touchdowns to go along with. If that isn't screaming Heisman to you for Boise State, a chance at a group of five bid as well, then I don't know what does. And then you also have the Travis Hunter one. I like G&T a little more because of how their season's going, and they look like they're going to be a lot stronger. I think, as well as Hunter's playing, I think he's going to fall off later in the year because it's Colorado. I think his numbers are still going to be there. He's still going to be a top five pick. But does Colorado, are they a 10-2 team? Are they an 11-1 team at the end of the year? I don't think so. I think Boise State has a better chance of doing that than Colorado does. And I really like Ashton GT to be my Heisman frontrunner right here after week five, or going into, yeah, right after week five. And then,
Now,
Um,
look, okay,
yeah,
oh, go ahead,
yeah,
Freddie.
no,
Go.
no, no. You go ahead.
All right, look, I have an issue with. I think it's a three-person race. I think Genty's in there. I think Hunter's in there, and you left off one. I think Jalen Milroe is in there, like easily. Those are the top three contenders. It's hard to say Milroe's not one of those top end contenders. You're talking about a guy who's had multiple passing and rushing touchdowns in every game of the season so far this year. He's making a big move, right, to push himself in that Heisman contention. And most importantly, out of those three names, he's going to play in the most big time marquee games.
yeah, you're
Because
okay. Yeah.
Colorado, they're going to look. We could be talking about Colorado being a bowl team for real now. Like no haha funnies. We're talking about a 3-1 Colorado team who just impressed me by blowing out UCF. Like that
Mhm.
impressed me.
They did do that. Yep.
Um, but do I expect Travis Hunter's play? Look, I'll say this: Travis Hunter wins the Heisman Trophy if he can play like this the entire season,
Yeah.
strictly from the respect that is rightfully earned from being that good as a two-way player, playing every snap of the game for an entire season at this level of football. He'll win the Heisman off that alone. But I don't think he keeps that level of play up the entire season, especially not when you get into that deep Big 12 play. I'm worried Hunter will get hurt again just from how many snaps he plays in a year. And I respect him for trying to like show how elite of an athlete he is, but I just don't think it's a sustainable thing for the course of an entire football season. Genty, I think Genty, if he keeps playing like this, deserves the Heisman, but he won't get it strictly because he plays at Boise State. Like, and that you can say that's unfair, and
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. But that's the reality of it. Like, he won't win the Heisman strictly off the fact that he plays at a G5 school. He could run, he could average 10 yards a carry for the rest of the year. He could have 30 rushing touchdowns, and he could have almost 2,000 rushing yards, and he will still not win the Heisman Trophy strictly because he plays at a G5 school, and not just a G5 school, a G5 school that plays a lot of West Coast games, which means they play at night after people have already went to bed. Look how hard it is for Pac-12 players back in the day when the Pac-12 was the thing to win the Heisman Trophy. And that was a Power Five conference. And it was strictly because they played on the West Coast when everyone went to sleep. And you've got a lot of Heisman voters that are out east. So right now, for me, I said it. I said before the Alabama Georgia game, if Alabama won the game and Milroe had at least 3 touchdowns, it was his Heisman to lose. And now I'm gonna stay with that. I hate picking a Heisman Trophy winner in September,
Yeah.
but if I have to pick a front runner right now, it's gotta be Milroe. You just had an insanely elite game against what is widely perceived as the best football program over the last 3 years on national TV with everyone watching. You balled out so hard that people stopped watching the game. And then when the team started choking, they tuned back in. So they missed the quarter and a half that you struggled. And they tuned back in just to watch you throw the game go ahead touchdown pass. That screams, give me a Heisman Trophy. He's gonna have a good performance against Vandy. He's gonna have a good performance against South Carolina. I don't believe Missouri is gonna do much to slow him down. I definitely don't believe LSU's DBs are gonna do much of anything. I have no faith in Auburn. Oklahoma defensively and Tennessee defensively could give him a hard time. But I don't even think you got to have a good game. If you just beat Tennessee on the road, that alone is going to push your Heisman odds up because that's going to be another top 10 heavy marquee rivalry matchup on the road with game day present. So right now, I think it's Milroe's Heisman to lose.
No disrespect, but a group of 5 players not going to win the Heisman this year. Now, I don't care how good he is. Now, that's no disrespect, but that's just the fact of the matter. Now,
Yeah.
if you were, this is kind of a double side. If you ask me who's the best player in college football, it's Travis Hunter. I'm deemed a Colorado hater and this and that, but Travis Hunter is the best player in America when it comes to just overall talent and by himself. There's one person that you guys have failed to mention, and that's Cam Ward at Miami. He's got 20 touchdowns total in the year, running and throwing. Granted, he has the 4 picks, but he's got 1,700 yards. Okay. Milroe passing has only 967. So almost double the yardage Cam Ward has. Cam Ward also, he has 4 picks to Milroe's 1. Now, Milroe's interception wasn't all his fault. It was a tip ball, tip drill, whatever. Cam Ward also has the second highest rated QBR in the country right now. So if you're asking me, I still think Jalen Milroe is the front runner, and the reason is because of he almost had 500 yards total against Georgia. Cam Ward's not playing anybody remotely close to a Georgia's defense, so that speaks volumes. But to me, it's a 3-headed race between Jalen Milroe, Cam Ward, and Travis Hunter, right? And I've got the odds up on the screen, and those 3 are the 3 favorites. Milroe's odds actually are plus 175, which is the best in the country. The next closest is Cam Ward at plus 500, then Travis Hunter's plus 700. Go ahead, Quinn.
I was going to say this. The sad thing is, if you had to ask me right now, strictly based off performance, who the most deserving player is, it's Genty from Boise State.
Thank you. Yes.
But he won't win it. I'm completely with you, Freddie. He won't win it because he plays at a G5 school. But
go ahead. Go ahead,
Bruce.
He also won't have the opportunity to play against the competition that the rest of these players will. Like even with Travis Hunter being in the Big 12, right? Like there's an argument there that they won't play the amount of competition that Jalen Milroe will, or Cam Ward for that matter, won't play the amount of competition that Milroe will. And I'll hear you on that, but that's not what determines the Heisman Trophy. Yes, it's big numbers, right? Like that's what the Heisman Trophy wants now is these insane stats, insane numbers on one of the best players on one of the best teams in the country. Now, if Colorado goes out and wins from here on out, makes the playoffs, you better book that Travis Hunter is winning the Heisman. If they go 9-3, I would venture to say that Travis Hunter's probably first or second in Heisman voting. But the fact of the matter is they're not going to go 9-3, unfortunately. And if they barely make a bowl game, he's not winning the Heisman either. So, there are pros and cons to being one of the best players on a team. But if you're one of the best players on a really good team, there's a difference there.
Well, and my thing, you have to beat, if you are the Heisman voters, you have to beat the allegation of this is a quarterback award. And
They would
yeah,
never.
you don't
They
have to
never
prove
will.
Yeah, and you don't
They
have
don't
to prove
care.
it to Chase Glover on the Three Bold Takes channel. Yeah, but that's what I want. Show me this season, because there are two guys legitimately, and I get the group of five discussion, but there are two guys legitimately that say those are the best players in the country. There are multiple quarterbacks that are, hey, those guys are really good, but those guys aren't the best players in the country. If you take Gene T off of Boise State, where are they? If you take Travis Hunter away from Colorado, where are they? If you take these quarterbacks away from their teams, where are they? They're still pretty good teams. They're not losing. They're not having losing seasons.
Miami is not nearly as good as they would be without Cam Ward.
And Miami is a little bit of an outlier, but they also play very poorly in the ACC. Honestly, ACC might be the next closest thing to group of five of the Power Four conferences, if we're being honest with each other. And so you have to beat those allegations of, hey, this is a quarterback award. I just don't think there's a quarterback this year so far, unless Jalen Milroe just puts up elite numbers by the end of the year. They're undefeated, all this stuff. Cam Ward maybe so, but Cam Ward just struggled in a game this past weekend with Virginia Tech and got one of the fleeciest calls from an umpire ever or an officiator ever, and Virginia Tech should have upset him. This is the season where you have two guys legitimately that are the epitome of their teams, and they have the shot to win the Heisman. You need to go with one of those two. I implore the Heisman. I hope Heisman voters watch this video. Make sure you watch it, because Chase Glover is imploring you to be better at your jobs and to choose somebody that is not designated as a quarterback, and it doesn't matter.
Look, I gave up on the Heisman ever picking. I've given up on the unfair imbalance favoring quarterbacks ever since I watched Will Anderson be the most important person to 2021 Alabama success.
Yep.
And Bryce Young won the Heisman Trophy by having a ho-hum good in quarterback season. I'm not trying to shit on it. Was like a good season, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like groundbreaking 2019 Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Where he set all the records on the planet. So I've given up. It's a quarterback award. And
by the way,
once every blue moon, you'll give someone not a quarterback the trophy.
By the way, Chase, put some respect on Cam Ward's name. He threw for almost 350 yards and 4 touchdowns against Virginia Tech.
It's also a rivalry game.
Yeah, so let's just put a little respect on that. Whatever.
I won't have any respect for Cam Ward. I won't have any respect for the ACC. And I'll leave it at that, guys. It's been 3 bold takes. It's been Chase. It's been Freddie. It's been Quinn. It's our Heisman watch, guys. Tell us who you like. If you like somebody different, if we didn't mention somebody, let us know. But while you're doing that, make sure to log into SeatGeek as well. Use our discount code 3 bold takes to get $20 off your first ticket. For 3 bold takes, for Chase, for Freddie, for Quinn, we're out.